Hello, everybody, and welcome to our lesson. And in today's lesson, we are going to study the simple modal verbs. Okay, of course, they have different various functions, and we can use them to express different in different messages, to express different messages in different situations. Okay, let's see them one by one. Okay, trip to Roman number 6, expressing politeness with might, may, can, and could. Okay, with 4 of the simple modal verbs. Okay, now, first of all, let me clarify this. We will use them, or they are used in passive structure. They are used only in present situations, okay? Although might is the past form of may, could is the past form of can, we will use them in completely present situations, okay? Now, they don't have a connection with the past states or positions, okay? So, in general, we use might or for the most polite messages. May, we use it for polite messages, and can, we use can for less polite messages. Okay, and could is used for all situations. Here I mean for both formal and informal situations, we can use could. Okay. And of course, accepting. How shall we accept polite requests? How shall we reply to them? And how shall we refuse polite requests? In today's lesson, we are going to discuss about those situations. Okay, dialogue 1, for example. Might I ask you a question? Yeah, although it starts with might, we answer, we reply it with may. Might I ask you a question? Yes, you may. Sorry, but, or if we refuse that polite request, we say, sorry, but I have to attend a meeting. Can you call me a taxi, please? Yes, I can, for example. Okay. Now, let's have a look at once more. Might is for the most polite situations. May is for polite situations, and can is less polite. Okay. Dialogue 2. May I play computer games on your computer? Yes, certainly. Or yes, you may. Well, or if you want to refuse, well, actually, I am going to do online shopping over the internet. May I use your cell phone? Yes, certainly. Yes, you may. Yes, you may. Okay. Can I use your mobile phone? Of course. Yes, you can. I would rather, but if we want to refuse it, if we don't want to accept that request, we say politely again, I would rather you didn't, because I'm waiting for an important phone call from a firm. Okay. So, may I use your laptop, please? Yes, you may. Sure, of course. Okay. For, could you direct me, or could you show me the way to the playground, please? Yes, I would be happy to. I would be happy to do that. Yes, certainly. Or I'd be glad to. I'd love to, but if you want, if we have no time, for example, If we are very busy, then we say, I'd love to, but I must follow that man in black suit. Could you call the cops, please? Yes, sure. 5, may I join this chat group? Sure. Sure you may. Of course you may. Or, well, actually, they aren't discussing an interesting subject now. May I ask you a question on solar energy or about solar energy? And these are really practical expressions, and we should talk about them from time to time, and we should acquire how to use them. Okay, for example, may I ask you a question related to solar energy, with respect to solar energy, or relating to solar energy, concerning solar energy, regarding solar energy, okay, or in relation to solar energy? Okay, so yes, of course, you may ask your question. You may ask your question connected with solar energy. This is the most polite, you know. We express, we phrase, or we convey our message in the most polite way with might. Yes, you can feel it in fact. Yes, although it is not past, although we use it for a present situation, we use the past form to make it more polite. Yes, politest. Might I ask you? Okay. Well, might I get to know how the procedure works, how the process works? Yes, certainly. Or, I'm sorry, but I am very busy with the orders of the company at the moment. Might you sort out those files, please? Yes, sure. Okay. Yes, I may. Okay, yes, I may. Do it. 7, might you send the check to my office? Might you send the check to my office? Yes, I may, or yes, I can, also possible. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I am able to do it. Okay. Sorry, or sorry, I can't. May I send it after the exhibition? Yes, please. Yes, you may. Might you visit the exhibition with me now? Yes, I may. Yes, I can. Also possible. Might you visit the exhibition with me now? Yes, I can. Yes. Yes, sure. Now, Roman number 7, expressing, giving, phrasing, yeah, expressing the presence of obligation and necessity or need with these modals and modal phrases. Now, must, for example, here is used to express responsibility with internal obligation. Have to is used to express external obligation. For singular subjects, has to. Past situations, I had to. Yes, for example, I had to wait for my children. I had to wait for my children yesterday, for example. Yes. Will have to. Yes. Will you have to see Mr. Brown tomorrow? Will you have to see? Yes. Be having to. Yes. I am having to. Okay. I am having to answer your questions. Have got to. I have to answer your questions, or I have got to answer your questions. Okay, has got to for singular subjects. Should, ought to, had better, need to. Yes, needs to for singular subjects. Be obliged to, be obligation to, be necessary to, adjective to. Yeah, you are not strange. You are not stranger to those expressions. Yes, obliged is adjective, so obliged to do something. Obligation is noun, obligation to do something, okay? For example, I have an obligation to answer your questions. Obligation to. Or noun that. I have an obligation that I answer your questions. I will answer your questions. Okay. Be necessary to. Adjective to. It is necessary to learn English nowadays. It is necessary to learn English. It means be a necessity. There is a necessity. Okay, there is. There is a necessity, or it is a necessity to learn English these days. Okay, because it's a lingua franca. Okay, now let's take a look at the first sentence. For example, I must see the director means inwardly strong obligation. I want to see it, okay? It is my responsibility. I must see, I feel that responsibility. I must see the director. I have to see the director means has a message, outwardly strong obligation. He wants me to see him, okay? Okay, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I want to see him or not. I have to see him. I have got to see him. Okay. Or A, B, we can express the same message. We can convey. We can communicate. Okay. We can communicate the same message. We can give the same message by using these expressions, these phrases. For example, A, B, C, D, A. I am obliged to see the director. Yes, this has got the same meaning with I must see the director. I have to see the director. I am obliged to see the director. I am an obliged person. Okay? Obliged, or this is an obliged situation. Adjective. Adjective to do. I am obliged to see the director. Or it's an obligation for me to. Just don't see for me, for example. It's an obligation to see the director. Okay? It's an obligation to noun to do. There is an obligation for me to see the director. There is an obligation to see the director. I have an obligation to see the director. This is, I think, this is more beautiful than B and C, because we don't need to use for me, okay? But in B and C, we have to use for whom? For you, for me, for them, for Ahmed, for Murat, for Jones, for who? But D, there is no need to use for somebody. I have an obligation to see the director, okay? Or George has an obligation to see the director. You have an obligation to see the director. Okay. Two, you have to, or you have got to work 8 hours a day. Yes, I know it. I know the situation. I am aware of it. But in fact, I must work 10 hours a day. They don't oblige me. Oblige is a verb here, okay? Oblige somebody to do something, okay? They don't oblige me to work 10 hours, but they oblige me to work 8 hours a day. So, I must work 2 more hours. So, I must work 10 hours a day. I need it. I need money. Or with A, B, C, for example, I am obliged to work 10 hours a day. It's an obligation for me to work 10 hours a day. In fact, it's an obligation for me to work 8 hours a day, but for my personal decision, because of my personal situation, it's an obligation for me to work 10 hours a day. Or there is an obligation, yes, there is an obligation for me to work 10 hours a day. Do you have to work 8 hours per day? Yes, I do. Or yes, I have to work 8 hours per day. No, I don't have to. I don't have to work 8 hours per day. So in B, in sentence B, in answer B, there is the presence of obligation, but in C we will study it clearly in detail. There is absence of obligation. Okay. No, I don't have to. If we say no, I don't have to work 8 hours a day, it means that there isn't an obligation for me. There is an absence of obligation. Absence. Okay. Now, you have to, or you have got to work 8 hours a day. Yes, we studied this, but this sentence is like a motto: labor, recreation, and rest. And there must be a balance between labor, recreation, and rest. Okay. You have to stay here and take down notes every 1 hour. You have to stay here. You have got to stay here. Yes. 5, Roy has to wear a uniform. Okay. Lily has got to wear special clothes, or Lily has to wear special clothes. She is obliged to wear special. It's an obligation for Lily to wear special clothes. There is an obligation for her to wear special clothes. Lily has an obligation to wear special clothes. These are so simple. They may seem complicated, but they are so simple and so simple. Okay. 7, your wife and you have to wait for the children at the gate. Okay. Your wife and you have to wait for the children at the gate. 8, I am having to write reports in that sort of situations. Yes, I am having to write. Of course, we can use in all tenses, past, present, future. For example, I was having to write reports yesterday. I will be having to write reports tomorrow. Okay, I am having to write reports today, since morning, for example. Yeah. Okay. I had to switch off the button. I had to switch off the button. Okay. I just had to switch off the button. 10, they had to leave yesterday, last month, last Sunday. They had to leave their homes and village. It means they were obliged to, adjective to do. Okay, emizar becomes was were. They were obliged to. Okay. Even the pet of the house was obliged to leave their homes, okay, their home. It was an obligation for them to leave their homes and village. There was an obligation for them to leave. They had an obligation to leave their homes and village. Okay. Refugees, welcome. A nice saying, yes, refugees, welcome. 11, you shouldn't allow your children. Now, allow somebody to do something or not to do something. You shouldn't allow your children to play with cleaning products. They are poisonous. Okay, you shouldn't allow. You mustn't allow. Okay? You mustn't allow your children is a strong obligation, but you shouldn't allow your children to play with cleaning products here as a message of mild obligation. 12, you should stay. Module, verb 1. You should stay in the mornings. You should study in the mornings. A mild obligation. It means I just advise you, okay? I advise you to study in the mornings. Not in the afternoons, but in the mornings. Okay. You must stay away from that dog. Now, we use it to express the importance of something. Okay. If something is important, we absolutely use must. Okay. It means that it's important. It's important for you to stay away from that dog. You must stay away from that dog. Yes, a strong advice, kind of strong advice. It's very important that you stay away from the dog, or it's important for you to stay away from the dog, or there is importance. There is importance that you stay away from the dog. Okay. 14, you mustn't go near the dog. It's very important that you don't go near the dog. Okay. It's very important that adjective that you don't go near the dog. It's very dangerous that you go near the dog. 15, you must be clean, must be. You must be clean, polite, and smiley. 16, I have got to see your parents tomorrow. Okay. Not because I want to see them, but because they want to see me, or the conditions force me, okay, force me, oblige me to see them. So I have got to see your parents tomorrow, or I have to see your parents tomorrow. 17, a guide has got to speak clearly and fluently, of course. Or a guide is obliged to speak clearly and fluently. Or it's an obligation for a guide to speak clearly and fluently and eloquently, articulately. There is an obligation for a guide to speak clearly and fluently. A guide has an obligation to speak clearly and fluently. Okay. 18, we shall have to, okay, or we will have to fill in 2 forms. It's an obligation, okay? So we will have to fill in 2 forms each, or each of us will have to fill in 2 forms. We are obliged to, okay, or we will be obliged to fill 2 forms each. It will be an obligation for us to fill in 2 forms. There will be an obligation for us to fill. Oblige somebody to do something, force somebody to do something. Obligate is also oblige. Obligate is the verb form. Erhan obliged or obligated his son to go to the library. Okay, so Erhan's son is obliged to go to the library. There is an obligation for Erhan's son to go to the library. 19, you should or you ought to, or you had better. Okay, you should ride your bike at the side of the road. You should vote during the election. Mild obligation, a general opinion, a general idea. This is a general acceptance, okay? You should vote during the election. It's an acceptable behavior. Civil behavior. 21, you had better wear this set. Specific, you had better wear this set. It is good for you. It will be good for you. Okay. Now, need to. Need, you know this, it is both noun and verb. Now, as a noun, it is necessity, okay? Okay. But necessity has the adjective form necessary, okay? As a verb, my sister needs or requires, wants to visit her friends this afternoon. My sister needs to visit her friends, requires to visit her friends, or my sister wants to visit her friends this afternoon. Okay. Does your sister need to visit them too? Yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. Yes, she needs to visit her friends this afternoon. Okay. 23, need. She needs see them as a simple model like can, must. She needs see them. She must see them. She can see them. Okay. She needs see them. Needn't she? Yes, she need. No, she needn't. No, she needn't see them because they will come. They will come to see her a few minutes later. So there is no need. There is no need for her to see them. Okay. 24. She needs to see them, doesn't she? But here it is like has to. Okay. She has to see them, doesn't she? She needs to see them, doesn't she? Yes, the 25 is about has to. Okay. Now, Roman number 8, expressing the absence or lack of necessity with don't have to, doesn't have to for singular subjects. Don't need to, doesn't need to, or in the past form, didn't have to, didn't need to, needn't, and needn't have. Okay? So, in future, will not have to, okay, don't have to, doesn't have to, let's write it to, didn't, let's write in between, present, need to, and will not, will not have to, I will not have to, for example, I will not have to see him. I will not have to see him tomorrow. Will not have to, there is no obligation for me tomorrow to see him. I will not have to see him. Okay. Won't have to or won't have to also express a future lack of, absence of obligation. Okay. You don't have to buy today, for present. You don't have to buy a second book. Okay. This is the best book I've ever seen up to now or so far. You don't need to buy a second book. This is the best book I've ever seen up to now. You needn't buy, you needn't buy. You don't need to buy, you needn't buy a second book. It isn't necessary for you to buy a second book. It isn't a necessity. It isn't a need for you to buy a second book. These are all giving the same message, the same meaning. There isn't a necessity. It isn't a necessity. There isn't a necessity to buy a second book. There is no need, okay? There is no need to buy a second book. You don't have to, okay? Or you haven't got a necessity. You don't have, you don't have a need or you haven't got a necessity to buy a second book. This is enough for you. Okay, 2, children under 5, this is the subject of the sentence. Children under 5 don't have to pay for an entrance ticket. Or children under 5 do not need to. Do not have to, do not need to pay for an entrance ticket. B, children under 5 needn't pay, okay? Needn't pay for an entrance ticket. It isn't necessary for children under 5 to pay for an entrance ticket. Yes, it is. It goes on like this. It isn't a necessity. There isn't a necessity, okay, to do something. There is no need for children under 5 to pay to do something. Your friend doesn't have to tidy his bed at this hotel, okay? Your friend doesn't have to tidy. You don't have to explain the problem to me. Bob doesn't have to wear a uniform. Okay, you catch fish and you catch fish almost every day, so you don't have to buy fish. Why? Because you catch fish almost every day. Okay. Or you do not need to buy fish now, okay? You needn't buy fish. You catch fish almost every day. It isn't necessary for you to buy fish now. Or it isn't a necessity. There isn't a necessity, okay, for you. Why? Okay, it isn't necessary for you to buy fish. That you buy fish is not a necessary, okay? That you buy fish is not necessary as a noun clause, as the subject of a sentence. We can also do it like this. Okay, for example, let's take a look at this one as an object first, then subject. It isn't a necessity that, noun, that you buy fish, or that you buy fish is not a necessity. Why? Because you catch fish almost every day. That you buy fish is not necessary. There isn't a necessity that you buy fish, or there isn't a necessity for you to buy fish. There is no need for you to buy. There is no need to buy fish for you. 7, because your home is in the countryside and by the river, you don't have to look for places for a picnic and swim. Yeah, you don't have to. 8, start swimming. Okay, start swimming. You don't have to wait for your friends. They will come sooner or later. Okay, you don't have to wait for them. They are about to come. They are about to come. 9, you don't have to pay for the meal. Why? You don't have to pay for the meal as it is a special occasion organized by the trainees, okay, your students. Not need to, needn't, for example, you don't have to, or you don't need to. You don't need to pay for the meal. You needn't pay for the meal. It isn't necessary for you to pay the meal. It isn't a necessity for you to pay the meal. There isn't a necessity for you to pay the meal. There is no need for you to pay the bill. There isn't any need for you to pay the bill, to pay the money, to pay the meal. Okay, there is an extra sentence. Learning hinges on repetition. What is the use of it here? But it has a good message in it, okay. Learning hinges on repetition, depends on repetition. So you must repeat to learn, or you have to repeat to learn, whether you want or not. But if, for example, of course, if you want to repeat to learn, it is better, it is more beautiful, yes, because of internal obligation. You must repeat the words, the sentences, the phrases, the questions, the answers to learn. 10, you don't have to, or you don't need to send postcards and letters, as you can do them over the internet nowadays. 11, you must show your identity card and you have to sign here. You must leave here by 11 and you mustn't leave your rucksacks here. You needn't phone us before leaving. So there is absence of necessity. You needn't phone us. Not need to, you needn't, you don't need to phone us, you needn't phone us. It isn't necessary for you to telephone us. It isn't a necessity to telephone us, etc., etc. But I really advise you to complete them, to write them, and to produce similar sentences and questions like them. Okay, 18A. Must I take my umbrella? Yes, yeah, let's become more careful now. A says, must I take my umbrella? No, you needn't. Okay, no, you needn't. It's not raining, so there is absence of necessity. Must I join the meeting? No, you needn't. No, you needn't. Because this is the meeting of the administrators, directors. Okay. Now 9. Need I wear my overcoat? Need I wear my overcoat? Yes, you must. It is extremely cold outside. It's very cold outside. Need I buy any eggs? Yes, you must. Need I see the director? No, you needn't. Do I need to see the director? No, you don't. Yes, I think this page is worth screenshotting. Yes, is a really good summary. Okay, 10. Do I have to take the bus? No, you don't have to go by bus. Subway is very near here. Do I have to see you tomorrow? So, no, you don't have to see me. No, you don't. Or, yes, you have to see me tomorrow because we have to make a meeting. We have to have a meeting. Okay, 11. Do I have to turn on the washing machine? Yes, you do. Yes, you have to turn on the washing machine because it's your turn to wash them. You must wash them today. Do I have to go shopping? Yes, you do, or no, you don't. Okay. Do I have to help you wash the car? No, you don't, but you can. You can if you want. Yeah. Do I have to vacuum inside the car? Yes. You. Yes, you can. Also possible. Do I have to vacuum inside the car? Yes, you can. Or you know you don't have to. I can do it. Dirty, filthy, polluted, contaminated. These are all adjectives, and the opposite of them is clean. Okay, clean. Dirty means is not clean. Filthy means is not clean. Okay. More attention, please. Yes, let's increase our attention. 12. Thank God. Try to see, figure out the situation here. Thank God I didn't have to change the antifreeze of the car yesterday. Okay? Thank God I didn't have to change the antifreeze of the car yesterday. Why? Because it was all right. So it remained the same. Okay. I didn't have to change the antifreeze of the car yesterday. But of course, this is about, this is not the 13th one. Is not the simple model. It's a modal phrase and past perfect form of modal phrase. We will see them. We are studying now the present form of them, but before starting the passive voice structures, passive sentences, we will study in a complete presentation the modal perfect, the modals about the past, okay? Yes, using modals about the past situations. Now, this is the past situation. Oh my God, I needn't have changed, okay? I needn't have changed antifreeze of the car yesterday because it was all right, but unfortunately, I changed it. So it was a loss for me. Okay. Yes, it will be more clear after we have learned the past forms or perfect forms of modals and modal phrases. Now quiz time. Please choose the correct alternative. How many alternatives are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, there are 4 alternatives, but only one of them is correct. The other 4 of them are wrong, incorrect. Did you know where blank? Yeah. So it must be where clause must be past, one of the past tenses. Did you know where they went? Will they go? No. They no. Have they gone? No. They no. So the true answer is A. Did you know where they went? Did you know where they went? This is the true answer, of course. And we will study the past perfect tense soon. So it can also be like this. Did you know where they had gone? Go, went, gone. Where they had gone is also possible. But they had gone uh, isn't isn't one of the alternatives. Okay. Three, blank, you will be happier and happier depends on how much sense of confidence, caliber, and competence you have. So, which one is true here? You will be happier and happier about more, further, whether, what? So, whether, yes, whether you will be happier and happier depends on how much sense of confidence, caliber, and competence you have, whether you will be happier and happier. Okay, three, blank to maximize the company's profit. Blank to maximize the company's profit. Profit. Okay, which one is true here? The old manager really wants. No, the old manager really wants. Okay, maybe. What the old manager wants? Well, there is noise, so B is incorrect. It is what the old, no. The reason why the old manager wants, no. There is no verb. What the old manager really wants is, yes, what the old manager really wants is to maximize the company's profit. This is what he wants. What the old manager really wants is to maximize the company's profit. Okay. The old manager really wants is no. Okay. Because there isn't a conjunction. A alternative. Okay. Is true. For the reason why he ran away is the reason why he ran away is blank. He was afraid of being punished. The reason why he ran away is that he was afraid of being punished. Is that he was afraid of being punished. Of course, these are kind of preparation for they are in advanced level and they are all tenses and passives. Okay, a kind of preparation for our all the tenses. We will study them in this harmony two and passive structure. Okay, the fifth one is his reliability. Is his reliability all or what I know about him? Yes, this may be true. Yes, this is, I think, the correct one. All I know about him is his reliability. What do know? We know about no. We can say we can't ask question. Why I know? Okay, so what I want or all I want this year is to master English, for example. Yes, all I know about him is his reliability, dependability, credibility, accountability, reliability, trustworthiness. Yes. Okay, now time to build our vocabulary. Okay, what does the sentence say? Democracy, human rights, and the rule of law means supremacy of law, superiority of law are the values of today's of us, or values of our age. Superiority is the opposite of inferiority. Okay, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, supremacy of law, supremacy of law. You will be deprived of something, okay? You will be deprived of what you have neglected. So we shouldn't neglect the useful things. You will be deprived of what you neglected. What you neglect, sorry. In the future, you will be deprived of what you neglect. You will be deprived of the things that which you neglect. Yeah, these are, again, let's consider them as preparation for the future subjects. Okay, both noun clause, adjective clause, okay. Passive voice, yes. Neglect means ignore something. Not to see something, insisting on seeing something deliberately, voluntarily. Yes, this is an essential word, okay? Associate. If you associate someone or something with another thing, the two are connected in your mind. Yes. For example, I associate upbeat with optimistic. What or which word? What word or which word do you associate with dependent? Which word is associated with dependent? Which word do you associate with dependent is active voice? Which word is associated with dependent is passive voice? So I associate addicted with dependent. Or addicted is associated with dependent by me, in my mind. To associate with active, to be associated with passive. I associate dependent with addicted. Dependent is associated with addicted by me, in my mind. Okay, the next is this. I associate dependent with addicted and hooked. Yeah, hooked, to be hooked. What word do you associate with self-sufficient? A beautiful adjective. So I associate self-sufficient with independent. Or more information, I associate self-sufficient with independent and self-reliant. What word do you associate with resourceful? I associate clever, skillful, and capable with resourceful. So resourceful means a beautiful explanation from the dictionary, capable or clever or able to put available resources to efficient or ingenious use. Ingenious has a connection with genius, okay, in a very clever way. Okay, ingenious use, using materials at hand wisely and efficiently. Enterprising, so we can also associate resourceful with enterprising, able to deal effectively with various situations, different situations. Okay, I associate resourceful with ingenious, as an adjective. What word do you associate with imaginative? Unimaginative, yes. I associate unimaginative with ordinary. I associate imaginative with inventive. An imaginative person is also an inventive person, but an unimaginative person is an ordinary person. He doesn't have a will to imagine new things. Okay. I associate unimaginative with ordinary, average, and common. Which word or adjective Which word do you associate with imaginative? Yes, I associate imaginative with inventive. Inventive. Open to new things. Yes. Have an open mind. To be an open-minded person. Now, okay, thank you for watching and see you next time. But let me read this again. My aim is to form documents about English acquiring from beginner to advanced levels, both as written and spoken forms. You can find the link of the written lesson presentations of each video in the description box of it. Okay. Yes, so see you next time. And I wish you a good day. Have a good day.